Guys, Disney finally did it. They made a good sequel for one of their original movies. I think most people can agree that their sequels are not that good. They're a stretch from mediocre at best and awful at worst. So when I was about to watch Zootopia 2, my expectations were kind of low. But I still had some hope for it, and after watching it, I was pretty surprised on how good it actually was. I would honestly say that it's even better than the first movie. But before I give my thoughts on this movie, I should probably give my thoughts on the first movie. I like it, but it definitely does have some problems. A lot of the dialogue was just stereotypes and prey versus predator, and didn't really feel like things people would actually say. The twist at the end was terrible. For some reason, the sheep that had a screen time of like 5 minutes was actually the bad guy for the last 10 minutes of the film. We barely know her, and we didn't get a lot of build up to the moment. Her motivation was also very bland and basic, but the thing that made me hate this movie the most is the amount of coincidences and plot holes that were in the movie. For instance, the Black Panther said that the Savage Otter was shouting the Night Howlers, even though it was explained that savage animals literally cannot talk. And also, how did Judy not know about the freaking blue things that can make animals savage, even though she was raised on a farm through her entire life? So, how did she not think that that could be the reason for it? I still like the first movie, but it definitely does have a lot of issues with it. Issues that the second movie actually fixed. So in this video, I'll be explaining how Zootopia 2 fixed almost every problem that was in the first movie. One of the things Zootopia 2 improved upon from the first movie was the dialogue. The dialogue actually feels like something people would say instead of the first movie where every single dialogue is just characters saying something about prey versus predator or some stereotypes. Another thing that was fixed in Zootopia 2 was the twist at the end. I think I just have to make a whole video talking about the twist because of how good it is. So I'm going to keep it brief while also trying my best to explain it well for this video. But one of the problems that I had with the twist from the first Zootopia movie was that there was no build-up towards it. Bellwether was a character that we didn't really see all that much from the first movie. And from what we did see, there was nothing that indicated her being a villain. She kinda just came off as overworked or tired. There wasn't any hint that she wanted more from her job. So I made the twist at the end kind of rushed. But Milton actually did have some build-up leading up to the reveal. We found out early on in the movie that the Langston family were the main villains of the movie, which would already make us suspicious for Milton because he was introduced to him as the part of the family. But it turns out he was actually helping the main characters. But then in another twist, he actually wasn't helping them. It's surprising, and his motivations does make sense. I do have some problems with him though, but I'll bring him up in the video I'll make about him. And now the last reason why I believe Zootopia 2 is better than the first movie is that it doesn't rely on plot holes to keep the story moving. There were a bunch of plot holes and coincidences in the first movie that was relied on for the story to keep moving. It got to a point where I was actually starting to get a little tired and frustrated that maybe really not like this movie all that much. While Zootopia 2 did have some moments where it felt kind of like a coincidence that the thing happened, it was nowhere near the amount from the first movie. The story actually felt like it was happening more naturally and didn't make me want to throw something at the screen. While I do think Zootopia 2 is better than the first movie, there are some things that could be improved upon. First off, Gary the Snake wasn't in the movie all that much. Because of this, it made a lot of the emotional or heartfelt moments with him not as deserved as it should have been. If he had more screen time, it would have made the moments more impactful. But because he wasn't focused on too much, he just felt kind of there, even though he's a huge character in this movie. Even with that, that's really just the only major problem I have for this film. The rest are just minor issues I have for the film. Fink was introduced to have some kind of phobia for reptiles, but it was just played off for laughs. I think they had potential for a side plot where Fink could grow to realize that they aren't that bad, but they just didn't do anything with it. While Zootopia 2 does improve on a lot of issues that was had in the first movie, it does have a few problems that could be fixed in the third film, which seems like it will be revolved around birds. Zootopia 2 also shows that Disney can make good sequels, so hopefully with the sequels releasing in the future, it will match the same quality as this movie.